If you think modern Christmas parties get extravagant, wait until you hear what the Tudors did on Twelfth Night, because this was the biggest night of the season, the very height of Christmas revelry. I'm historian and author Claire Ridgway, and for day 8 of my Tudor Christmas Advent series, we're stepping into the dazzling world of masques, mumming, disguisings, and merriment at the Tudor court. Twelfth Night was the grand finale of the festive season, and the Tudor monarchs, even Henry VII, with his reputation for frugality, embraced it with gusto. As W.R. Streitberger points out, the Christmas of 1493-1494 was anything but modest. There were performances by professional players from Essex and Wimborne Minster, a Morris dance, and on Twelfth Night itself a spectacular disguising led by none other than William Cornish. And what a spectacle it was! Cornish rode into Westminster Hall on horseback dressed as St. George, leading a maiden dressed like a king's daughter, who in turn led a huge red dragon that spat fire. He recited a ballad before the king. The royal chapel sang, and then 12 disguised men and 12 disguised ladies swept into the hall, dancing its full length before unmasking and continuing the revels. After the dancing, they served the banquet, as you do. Other accounts describe pageants, castles, dragons, knights, esquires, the entire hall transformed into a living storybook. In the late medieval period, the words mumming and disguising were used interchangeably. But by the Tudor era, disguisings referred to dramatic performances with music, poetry, dance and scripted pageantry, while mumming had become the domain of masked silent processions, often dice players who entered houses during the season to bring luck and mischief. The Book of All Manner of Orders Concerning an Earl's House, dating from the reigns of Henry VII and Henry VIII, even gives detailed instructions for a proper disguising. The performers were to enter only once any interlude or comedy had finished, accompanied by torchbearers and minstrels. They made their reverence together, danced the appointed dances, then moved aside in carefully choreographed order. Ladies having precedence, of course, before the men danced, followed by the Morris, and finally paired dances chosen by the master of the revels. The Morris dance was another highlight, a lively folk dance of leaps, bells jingling at the knees, handkerchiefs waving, and mock combat between dancers. Sometimes performers appeared as fools or wild men, sometimes as Robin Hood characters, and although the dance may or may not have had Moorish origins, by the Tudor period it had been absorbed fully into court entertainment. Henry VII had Morris dances in 1492, complete with ribbons and bells. Many of the details of Tudor court revels are lost to us. We have far more records of the money spent on staging them than of the performances themselves. But glimpses survive. One Christmas at the Earl of Northumberland's household, musicians played as male and female disguisers entered and bowed. A pageant cart was wheeled in with performers who poured out to dance a Morris before sweeping away again. Bass dances and circle dances followed, a winter feast of music and movement. And then 1512. Chronicler Edward Hall tells us that on the night of Epiphany that year, Henry VIII introduced a thing not seen afore in England, the Italian-style masque. The king and 11 companions appeared disguised in long gold-wrought garments with golden visors and caps. After the banquet, they entered the hall with 6 torchbearers and invited the ladies to dance. Some accepted. Some, unfamiliar with this new fashion, refused. The maskers danced, conversed, and then slipped away into the night. This was something entirely different, a blend of Tudor disguising and the fashionable masquerie spreading from Italy to France and now to England. It marked the birth of the English masque, a form that would grow spectacularly under the later Stuarts, but whose seeds were planted by Henry VIII's love of pageantry. Under Edward VI, Twelfth Night remained a grand occasion. In 1552, after a daytime tourney and an evening play by the king's players, a symbolic combat took place between the forces of youth and riches, a moral allegory devised, it seems, by Sir Thomas Challoner. After mock battles, mock Germans, mock friars, and all the expected Tudor chaos, the night ended with a masque of men, a masque of women, and a banquet of 120 dishes. This was the end of Christmas, the account tells us, and what an ending it must have been. In Edward's final Twelfth Night of 1553, the court witnessed the triumph of Cupid, Venus and Mars. Venus entered in a triumphal chariot with the masque of ladies. Cupid was rescued in a flourish of mock combat. Mars arrived in his own triumph, and the entertainments tumbled on in true Tudor splendour. It appears to have been inspired by Italian triumphi, triumphal processions brought to life with music, dance and theatrical magic. For the Tudors, Twelfth Night wasn't just entertainment, it was a declaration of magnificence, a night where the court became a stage, the king a participant in myth and marvel, and the boundaries between reality and performance dissolved in candlelight and colour. Thank you for joining me for my Tudor Christmas Advent series. Don't forget to like, subscribe and ring that bell so you don't miss my next one. See you soon. Bye bye.